The unknown with BMP. First of all, I woke up with this random thought, and I would like for us to share it around to target other persons or necessary persons that needs to hear it, or share it across that people will get the right people will get to know or hear of this. And also let me know if this idea I have is something that can be actualized. First of all, what is the full meaning of INEC? INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission. Is INEC really independent? Of course, we know not, because they are funded by the federal government. Their activities, in fact, their appointment is from the federal government, especially that of their national chairman must come from the federal government, especially the presidency. So in an indirect way, the presidency has control over the activities of the INEC. When they bring their budget, it is the federal government or per se the National Assembly that approves their budget. So that sets an indirect control of the INEC. But how about if INEC can operate in this pattern? Instead of having an agency, a commission, or people working under the federal sector, how about we have INEC working as a real independent body by having selected persons? Let's say since we have over 50 or some even say over 80 or over 60 political parties, how about these political parties select maybe 2-3 persons from each political party that will form an electoral body, a temporary electoral body? It will not be permanent thing. That will form an electoral body for every 4 years, or per se for every election season. And then these persons will be nominated or selected from each political parties so that it will be transparent. And then when they come together, they can now vote among themselves who should head them. You know, those executive positions that will make up the commission. They can select or do their election among themselves and then come up with a budget. And then instead of the National Assembly to be the one to screen these budgets or have control over what should be approved for them, how about there should be an amount set every year for election? And then maybe as they are planning, or as they also do for themselves, increase their own allocations, federal allocations, and increase all those things, they can also increase the budget for election. Considering, okay, the inflation of things are going up, so let's also consider that the materials for election will also be increasing as well. So let's also increase the budget for that as well. So that when these people have been selected and they now have the executive and they have their budget or whatever, this amount is already waiting for them. They are only just to go and claim the funds, work with it, give a public or publish a public report of how their spendings went. Of course, they're also going to make budget for how much should be given to each of them, at least for their service, for their remuneration should be discussed. It should be part of their budget. You understand? And then once, in as much as they all together agree, because first of all, they are coming from different political parties. So the possibility of them agreeing on one particular idea all at the same time is going to be very slim, because they will have to debate and, you know, convince each other, okay, this is a good idea before they can go about it. So if they all agree that this amount is okay for all of us, fine and good, they should pay themselves, but it should be from within that budget, and they should not spend above. There should be something at least still remaining, and then the next people coming in can continue from there. Instead of having the government, the federal government, select or control what happens in the INEC, I think that way the INEC is going to be truly independent, and that way corruption or the corrupt practices within the electoral sector, if not entirely dismissed, can be reduced. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comment section. And also do well to share this video to those persons who can propose this bill in the National Assembly and those who can push this bill, because this is something I feel can help us. The unknown with BMP.